This is... Linka?
According to records, this is an artificial life form made to control this facility. It's a component.
A component? But that's... No matter how I look at her, this is Linka. She's human.
You already know of administrators, right?
People like Flamu, who became part of the ancient facilities to control them.
Yes. Ever since a certain era, suitable people were included in facilities as controllers.
A certain era?
This person seems to be from an era even further in the past. The legend of a goddess blessed by the Lord of Water in Fob Village may be based on her.
Fully controlling complicated ancient facilities such as Geosis requires a being on the level of an administrator. Such complicated control requires intelligence. Thus, administrators needed to be real human beings. That was after technology advanced. However, these ruins seem to be older. The structure is far more simple. Thus, even an artificial life form could control it. Perhaps they didn't have the technology to use a real human yet.
Artificial humans? Even we don't have that technology yet. And even if it was possible, the ethicality is...
This specimen is the result. It works on the technical and structural side. Thus, a personality was unnecessary. You know that creatures such as slags and homunculi were manufactured before reaching this point as well, yes?
Then... Homura is... Home.
Anyway, this specimen was sufficient for the time. Even now, it still functions and controls the facility.
Don't use words like manufactured and functions! She's human!
Indeed. One could say that this is a part of the darkness of alchemy culture.
Then, the Lincas are all...
We'll speak of that later. This is all still a simple deduction.
I always thought that alchemy is something to make people's lives and the world a better place. Me too. I thought that if I studied alchemy more, I could stop the drought and help everyone.
It's helping us get by now, isn't it? Up to this point.
This is the reality that supported us to this day, Stara. Lot, are you going to give up on moving forward?
No, we'll keep moving forward.
The purification device here turned seawater and other sources into fresh water before distributing it.
Huh? Seawater? Freshwater?
Water from sources in this area, and water from the Dusk Sea. All water is brought here and then purified.
That's crazy.
Exactly. The actions of humans are always reckless.
Settlements like Stellard that are ground level, with plentiful water, have relay versions of this device.
That's why, even as the dusk progressed, villages like Lugion downstream still had water supplied to them. Your village likely has a relay device as well, Stara.
Now that you mention it, there was an area forbidden to all but the chief. But if we have a device, then...
There seems to be a problem with this device. It's using much more seawater than the natural cycle can replenish. This fault comes from people thinking that seawater is limitless.
In other words, when this device's intake exceeded the supply of water, it started emitting contamination.
What do you mean? You're saying that the device started to break down?
But the time when the device started to emit contamination and the time when the drought started are different. So they kept it going as it was spewing pollutants.
A
not matter.
Mind if I take over?
Memories of the Lord of Water.
Yeah, I saw them when I formed the contract.
Keith, please believe her. I was there too.
I never said I didn't believe her. That's why I'm here listening.
Then...
Anyway, I'll listen.
To protect this land, the Lord of Water poured her own power into the water and land itself. However, the water management device created by humans wouldn't stop, and steadily drained the water and land. Humans didn't realize this at all. They weren't generating water. They were stealing the Lord of Water's power.
That's why when the device started failing, the water supply was fine as long as the Lord of Water could hold on.
That's an obvious conclusion. Humans never care to know about what's keeping them alive.
It's possible that by that time, nobody even knew about the underground facility, let alone manage it.
What's the point in such a device continuing to operate? It only makes the sins of humanity grow heavier.
Unfortunately, you're right. That's why the Lord of Water grew more and more disappointed in humans. Finally, she stopped being concerned with them entirely.
That's the end of my story. I hope it helps.
Of course it does, Belle. Isn't that right, Keith?
Ha! I never expected to gain information like this.
Are you still saying you don't believe in magic? That doesn't matter. I've told you what needs to be said.
What a simple-minded girl, as usual. This world isn't blemished by the deeds of humans alone. The truth is far deeper. That's all I have to say.
Right back at you. You're a stubborn old man, as usual.
Well then, now that you've had time to reason through this, what will you do?
We need to stop the device.
If we don't, the damage will just get worse, right?
And what would you do if that completely stopped the distribution of water?
What?
This thing continues to take in what little water remains. If you leave it, the water will go dry eventually, and it will keep spitting out pollutants, but not right away. If you stop it, the natural cycle might help it recover eventually, but the chances are low. Also, even if it did, it would take an unbelievable amount of time for the water sources to go back to normal. At that time, I'm unsure if humanity would be able to survive.
But we might have to accept that as a result. Yeah. Though nature is pretty resilient, I'm sure it'll bounce back quickly. The Lord of Water let master her strength, and these plants are doing so well too. Even if it's not during our lifetimes, I think nature would return to life.
Think deeply about it. You're the ones who will make the decision.
Lot, let's go back to Stellard first. We can't decide this on our own. Yeah. We need to talk with Raoul and Periend and have everyone decide. Okay, let's do our best!
So, what do you think?
Extra attack! This is deploying action field in this space. I won't hold back. I'll drop this on you. I'll beat you to a pulp. Here goes.
Close.
Let's be more efficient!
opportunity.
No issues at all.
I'll try this.
I feel like something could happen.
What do you think? We found quite a bit, right? What's next? It's up to you.
Let's take care of this as efficiently as possible.
An ore. It may be useful for imbuing.
Something could happen. I just have that feeling.
This seems to be an ancient relic. I should study it later.
Everyone did a great job gathering. We should head out for another place now.
We found something you.
What's next? It's up to you.
What did this do? I'll try this. Alright, I'll use this.
Something feels strange.
How's this? It's easy when you've got me around. Okay, let's hurry up.
Lot, over there.
Keith and Logie and Soul? What could they be talking about?
That's true. The cause of the dust is not a natural phenomenon. I believe that's become quite obvious.
This is all the result of the deeds of humans. Furthermore, humans refuse to learn from their past mistakes.
But we've learned the legacy of the past, in other words, alchemy, and can use it to prolong our existence.
For better or worse, if we depend on the culture of the past, humanity has no means to survive at a fundamental level. That's why we must learn the truths of the past civilization and realize their mistakes.
I agree with your assertions. However, these intellectual relics should be shared among all, not destroyed.
I kind of understand how he feels. It's true that there are no small number of people who abuse alchemy. It would be better to keep such things out of their reach given the option.
I realize my method is hasty, but there are far too many villains who exploit knowledge for their own filthy desires.
If you mean the leaking of information, that could be a problem with Central's own administrative abilities. But this isn't something for an individual to decide.
Then who will correct such deficiencies in the system?
The one upside is that to use advanced ancient alchemy, considerable talent and knowledge is needed.
Unfortunately, with greater talent comes greater ambitions, and if there is a defect in the organization of Central itself, the control of knowledge would...
Considering the innate nature of humans, someone wicked would certainly appear. I see humans as fundamentally depraved.
But we can't discard the possibility that those on the side of good would diffuse such situations.
I can't say much on that subject, but considering past precedents...
Hey, Stara, I don't want to get involved over there.
They're all unexpectedly argumentative.
Drought is only one part of the phenomenon known as the dusk. I told you this before. After investigating various ruins, I determined that the legacy of alchemy culture exhausted the planet itself. The symptoms are occurring in all regions, to a greater or lesser extent. This is a rather vague way of expressing it, but this is likely the anger of the planet toward the sins of humanity. Simply culling the human species would not solve the problem. This has happened many times in history, after all.
In other words, the dusk isn't for that purpose? It's to bring an end to the world itself?
Exactly. If water dries up and the land becomes barren, all creatures would die.
But Colsade is a city that grew from a land with nothing. The apple orchard is growing just fine.
A few other lands like that exist. Most of them have ancient underground devices to grow plants efficiently. Plants growing abundantly is evidence of a stable absorption and return cycle to the earth in that place. Or...
I can't say whether or not that will serve the role of reviving the power of the land. I wouldn't hold high hopes.
Clone? Flamu? The answer that Princess Hummingbird sought!
I believe the water source of Stellard is one example of such a device allowing the land to survive for longer.
does that mean all the keys lie underground here?
Until I confirm it with my own eyes, it's simply an inference.
But people in the past didn't just sit around waiting for their ruin, right? Didn't they try all kinds of things to bring life back to the land and water?
In the end, it was only a stopgap measure. It was just an effort to preserve the environment for humans.
Indeed. As long as we rely on the legacy of the past, we cannot stop the dusk. We can only delay its advance.
But nature and spirits in this world should be stronger than humans. Even Flamu was searching for an answer.
In the past, countless spirits inhabited this planet. But now, they mostly just exist in legend.
Still, we can't give up.
I want to believe that alchemy can be used for good too.
We who pursue the truth analyze events to seek pieces of the truth. However, I suppose actions could also discover the truth.
That's why we wanted to give it a try, to see exactly what truth we could find through our actions.
What materials should I choose? Alright, time to start. I don't think this will go so well. This is no good. I'm tired. feels right. Using a useful skill. Alright, let's go! Let's keep it up. Let's do this next. Alright, time to think. Oh, what property should I keep? Is this alright? That about does it.
Master Wilbell.
That discouraged look doesn't suit you at all, Shallie. Also, I'm a magician. I'm in a different position from you alchemists.
But if you're willing, please tell us what you think. Master Wilbell, please.
Sorry for putting on airs, but I can only talk from the point of view of a magician. Up to now, I formed contracts with the Lords of Wind, Fire, and Water. I didn't realize this when I was younger, but I know now. Spirits still live on this planet. This planet is their home. Of course they wouldn't just allow nature to fall to ruin. The spirits might not be able to forgive humanity immediately, but if we humans fix our mistakes, I think we can get along with them again, someday. Shallie, You gave me courage. I'll be the one to watch over you this time. That goes for you too, Shalostera. You're an important friend of my incompetent apprentice, after all.